Welcome back, my fellow duplicants, to Oxygen Not Included. Now, in the last episode here, we built up these polymer presses, and today we're going to try to automate them based on an inventory management system. So same sort of thing that we've done up here with the metal refinery. Now, the first thing I want to automate here is the oil refinery. Now, the reason I want to do this is because you can see that we take in crude oil and it converts it into petroleum, which will then run on the polymer presses to turn into plastic. Now, what I want to do is build up a buffer of petroleum down here, so then we can run the polymer presses on demand, and we don't have to come down here and run this oil refinery every single day. So here's the automation I kind of went through just to kind of prove it out. And essentially, I'm going to use a memory toggle switch in order to determine when this pipe is full and when the pipe is empty, so that we can kind of build up a surplus inside of our liquid reservoir. Now, to do this, I don't really think I need these liquid bridges here. I can actually just get rid of that. Okay, so when I look at the automation here, high is going to be this sensor right here. That's basically so this could be replaced with full. And then low is when we're low on petroleum and we need to run it more. So what I'm going to do is connect the low to the reset side of the memory toggle switch. And then I'm going to connect the high side to the memory toggle switch over here. And then I'm going to flip the signal that comes out of the memory toggle so that I get the opposite on this machine. Okay, so now that I have that stuff built, I'm going to set both of these to petroleum down here. So that's petroleum, and this one is petroleum as well. So what we can see here is that we have detected that there is petroleum in this liquid pipe, which is good. And then right down here, I'm using two bridges. So the liquid sensor is on the second bridge right there. So how this works is petroleum flows in here, jumps over that sensor essentially, and goes out right there, and just builds up a certain amount of buffer inside of the liquid reservoir down here. And since this right now is not true, well, then we get the true out of here. So therefore, the oil refinery is running. So you can see Leon here was able to build up 1,700 kilograms in this one cycle. So it might take him another cycle or two just to fill that liquid reservoir up completely. All right, so the next question is, once we have plastic, where do we want to store it? Or where do I want to do the inventory stuff? Well, I think a good spot for that is right up here, because I have all of my refined metals in this area. I'm also doing lime and refined carbon. So I think just kind of building into the same area is just a good place, because then all my dupes go to the same spot in order to get the metals. And I also have all of my inventory right over here, you know, stacked up in just like 2 tiles. So I'm just going to go ahead and dig into this area, just to give myself the space I need to make this. We'll see just how many Drecos escape. Ooh, this one's looking like it wants out. Nope, super dupes are too fast. Haha. No, super meat. No, 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 no dupes. Stop, stop. Stinky, Stinky, what are you doing? You don't need to be in there. Oh, no. Now I got a dupe stuck in there. I couldn't keep them out. They just kept running back in. There you go. Now dig a tile. And you're free. Don't. Stop, dupes. Stop. Okay, good. All right, so back down here, we can see if it's crimson. It's running on the liquid reservoir, so we're going to build that up. And it's going to continue to build up, I should say. Okay, so once I have my plastic, well, I need to ship it all the way back up to where it needs to go, which happens to be right up in this area. That is one very, very long conveyor rail. Okay, so I found out why Otto's stress was so high. It was actually because I had this enabled down here. It was selected for oxygen. So the dupes kept delivering more and more oxygen down here. And if you see, it is 7.4 kilograms per tile down here. So yeah, that was a thing. So I think I'll vent some of that oxygen. Just kind of open that up. I think it was running, I think the dupes were running from the canister filler down there over and over again, just to kind of pressurize that area. Interesting. But in case you're wondering, could you use a canister emptier to increase the pressure of an area? Yeah, it looks like it. All right, so as we can see right here, the liquid is just about to completely fill up. The duplicants ran away right before it was finished. Thanks, dupes. All right, here we go. Automation. We'll see that the liquid backs up. There we go. And now it's been disabled. So now I have a ton of petroleum ready to be used up and processed. So while that happened, I built this entire conveyor rail right here, which goes all the way up and into this area. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is set up the same exact arrangement that I use over here, except for rather than having a rock granulator in between, what I'm just going to have is a receptacle, and then a sweeper arm right up here. And I'll place that right here so that the closer of the two is going to be the storage bin rather than the smart storage. So that way it'll work the same sort of thing with kind of your safety stock and then kind of your buffer that you have set up right there. So I'm going to set that to plastic and the same one over here to plastic. But we'll set that to something smaller, like 500 kilograms. And then we'll have, probably want a little bit more on hand. I'd say 5,000 or so. Of course, at this point, now you got to run this automation wire like all the way back down to wherever my plastic is. So that's kind of a long ways, but oh, come on, dupes, just a little bit more. All right, so now let me go ahead and enable all of these. And what we should see is that plastic will be produced. It's going to drop off the side of these over here because I flipped the polymer presses, and it should drop down and then get collected by the auto sweeper, which will load it in here, and then that'll get shipped all the way up here. But I have to connect the power unit to the clock system. And that is this little guy over here. All that does is just send a pulse every, 60 seconds or so, just to check the inventory status. So the next time that runs, this thing should do what it needs to do. So there we go. That flipped the automation to true. Oh, and dupes, you missed a spot. Come on, dupes, you're almost there. By the way, I think we can do away with this little airlock, dude. That was a while ago, but that was just to kind of keep the polluted oxygen from flowing through. There we go. Okay, so now that flipped the automation to true. So yes, we're now producing plastic. Blip. And there we go. So the plastic is off, and it is shipping, and it'll be shipping for a good long time. And so long as this priority is lower than the storage bins, then the auto sweeper should go ahead and do its thing. But it went to the furthest one before it went to the... Didn't really follow the rules. Let's see what it does this time. See, now this time it went to that one. Here comes some more plastic. Let's see what happens. Now it went to this one over there. What? All right, I'm going to move it one spot to the left. Let's see what that does. I don't know if it'll actually do anything. When the dupes run on the machine, they always go to the nearest storage bin, but I don't know if the auto sweeper... It doesn't look like it always follows that same rule. But then again, it's kind of at an angle of it, so I don't know. It should, but it doesn't. All right, now we got all 4 of them up and running. It's going to be pulling 960 watts. Wow, okay. So here we go. 4 chunks of plastic. Boom. Oh, the dupes want to come in here and sweep the thing up. Here, we'll disable access down there because they don't need to be down there. There we go. Now the shipping system will do all the work. All right, so there we go. Now it's shipping to the one that's closest to it. Let's see if it makes a mistake ever. No? Okay, it doesn't. Yeah, that seems to be working perfectly. Excellent. All right, well, this elderly fish down here must have died off before it created an egg. So what I'll do is I'll just use the fish release up here, drop it in. I'll just copy the settings and make it a higher priority. There we go. Okay, so one other thing I'm starting to run into is that I just have too much food. I've got 1.2 million, and I don't really have enough storage for all of that food in here. Now this is cool, but I think I might want to build a kind of a larger food storage system. And the other thing is I might want to get away from having carbon dioxide and actually start using chlorine. So maybe that'll be a topic for a future video here. For right now, I'm storing the extra food such as cooking ingredients. So that's things like raw eggs and pinch pepper nut, sleet wheat grain. So one of the advantages of storing in chlorine is that if you have any like food poisoning and whatnot on there, it basically gets killed off by all of that chlorine. So you don't even have to worry about like the condition of your food as much. Although it's always better to avoid it in the first place. But hey, doesn't hurt to be a little extra safe, huh? Dupes! Oh my gosh, all of you fell down. What? I had 5 dupes fall through a floor. I don't have a whole lot of carbon dioxide that's running here, but you can see that it is making its way over here to the Slicksters so that they're, able to eat. And it looks like they're not starving for once. How about that? And continue to produce more and more and more plastic. Nice. Although, that does consume a whole lot of power running 4 of those things. We'll just do a little bit more digging right there. There we go. Good job, dupes. All right, so I'm building this ladder right here, and it's just going to go up towards the surface. I want to start to build things that are actually going to service, rockets and other space equipment at this point. Now that I have plastic and I have steel, I'm in pretty good shape down there. There's a few more things I could do here. I could definitely plug in some more power. I mean, I have this natural gas guy right there. That's a perfect thing to plug in. Otto, buddy, why are you suffocating? Oh, I think you found one spot you could possibly die, and that's where you got yourself trapped. Otto, what am I gonna do with you, man? There you go, deconstruct. these dupes, every single time. There we go, just deconstruct the stuff. We don't need it anymore. Move on. Oh, well. I got 2 Paco fish down here. Come on. I keep taking my eyes off this aquarium thing. Stupid fish. Open the door up already. There we go. Let them through. They're flopping around this entire time. There you go. What are you doing, Leon? Oh! These dupes. Now, hopefully, this time is the last time I ever have to mess with these things down here. Alright, so I have 17 fish over here, so that's a pretty good amount of meat. What I really want to see is this, like, get up into the hundreds. Then I'll have unlimited food. What are you guys doing down here? Are you tame? Yes, you're tame. Good. You're tame. You're tame. Oh, all these fish are tame. How about that? Just swim around. You'll be fine. Okay, so taking a look at this system over here, we can see that we've now maxed out the storage over here. I changed that to 3,400. And then just a little bit more, we'll max out the smart storage bin. And then the next time this clock goes to run, we will disable all of the polymer presses down the line here. So the rest of the plastic will build up, but it's going to build up right here in this receptacle. So there we go. It just checked and it determined that this was full. So therefore it disabled that. And because of that, we have disabled all of this down here. All right, so now I'm going to simulate the other half of this if I just clear this one spot out. I stopped at 1 tile too short. But I suppose you could size the storage containers that you have based on the whole like petroleum tank that you have down here. So let's say I was to increase this to 300 kilograms. And that might actually size it perfectly. Let's find out. Nope, how about 500? So 3,400 and 500. That re-enabled it. And now we can see that these plastic machines are running, but they are out of petroleum. So because of that, the automation here has determined that, okay, we need to turn this oil refinery back on, so Kaya's down there to run it again. But unfortunately, I've run out of power. So a lot of the steam vents here, like this one, or the hydrogen vent right there, those are dormant right now. It'll be active in the next 3 cycles. One of the things I'm building up over here, just temporary for right now, is the natural gas generator, just to provide some power in the, when things are dormant. However, I think a really cool topic here for the future is to set up a Shinebug Sun system. So I think I'll bring in a couple more dupes, and their job will be to run a Shinebug Sun kind of arrangement where we can store up several Shinebugs and use solar panels to capture the power from them. Not that it's going to be a huge amount of power, but I think it's a fun project. But to do that, I'll need glass production. I think I'll kind of do my glass storage bin unit right here as well. Now, whether or not I do the glass up here or maybe somewhere else, I don't know yet. But I think after that, I'll continue to focus on solar power because I can go up to the surface up here once I dig my way up there and kind of use a solar array into space, and that actually will generate a huge amount of power. So that'll be good and nice and useful. But that'll have to happen here in the next episode. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode here of Oxygen Not Included. If this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, stay awesome, guys. Peace. Brothgar out.